Hello guys, my name is Amit Sani and I welcome you on this daily Hindu and answer video in the morning. These videos come in the evening, the MCQ lessons they come. Both the lessons are important and you must have gone through the essay paper, the GS paper 1, 2 and these questions are telling you how important these editorials are. Extremely relevant these issues are and the important points of the answer writing you will get from here. So I am giving you all the explanation, I'm telling you all the angles there and with all this guidance and help you can make your best points according to your own ability, because ability will be yours and the originality must be there in the answer, and those points should be simple and that should be coming out of your mind, and this practice will help you in interview phase also. So all the issues like the biased media issues, the secular aspects of the society, all these things we had discussed in the past in these lessons, and those similar things are asked in the mains stage. So you can have any idea now that how important these things are. So follow the lessons religiously, and the evening lesson which is having important facts and explanations, those are crucial for prelims. Next year you will feel the importance of that. Pocket News app is trending on Google Play. You can download that, and regarding these courses the description is given below the video. You can call on these numbers and the chat section is given here. You can follow this Facebook group for PDF, and the Telegram channels link you will also find there. So both are important sources. You can follow me on Instagram too and ask your any of your queries and all. So these are some words that I found today and you can use them into sentences. Article first is important for GS paper 2 and 3. It is regarding the GST process, a important decision that the government has taken, and actually the GST Council, which is the most important decision maker regarding these tax rate and the framework of the administration and all important issues, and maintaining the decorum there, the benefits they must reach to the stakeholders, all like governments, consumers, suppliers, and the value chain must be robust. These all responsibilities are there with GST Council. So many issues are also there it has to deal with, and a similar issue of fraud cases of these input tax credit issues and fraud refunds and IGST refunds and all. These things are unearthed now. Now the DG of GST intelligence and the DG of revenue intelligence, they launched a pan-India joint operation to unearth all these problems. You see, loopholes can be there in any kind of system. No system can be 100% perfect. So these loopholes were found by these fraudsters, and they started this network of exporters and suppliers who were conniving the government to claim fraudulent refunds. Because first we need to understand the input tax credit issue and the refunds issue. Suppose iron is mined, then it is sold off, and steel makers, they buy this iron. Suppose the 100 rupees is the value, then it goes for the important industry of steel. Then steel is made out of this iron, then some value is added and it becomes a product of 150 rupees. Then it goes for some other industries, and these steel sheets or maybe rods or maybe wires, they are made and it becomes 180 rupees product. Then it goes to some other industry, some machines are made, some other materials are created, so a final product is made and that is sold for 250 rupees. So every stage some value addition is there. Okay, and when they are buying it from the previous stakeholder, then they are paying GST on that. So if somebody is buying iron for 100 rupees, then suppose 18 rupees GST this person is paying. Next, now this thing is priced at 150 rupees, so it will sell it. So this person will buy it for 150 rupees and it will pay a GST on this amount. So 18% of the 150 rupees means 27 rupees. So 27 rupees it will pay. But there is a problem. This product was of 100 rupees and now it became 150 rupees. So 18 rupees are paid on these 100 rupees. So why to pay again on total amount of 150 rupees? So that's the issue, and there is the cascading impact of the indirect taxation. Means every time the value is added and the tax is also taken again on the same value, because some value is added and the total amount is considered for the tax payment. So this is the cascading impact, and there a lot of problems were there. So to settle this issue, a problem is solved by input tax credit. What is that? When somebody will buy this 100 rupees product, then they will pay 18 rupees GST and they will receive a receipt, their tax receipt, and it will prove this thing that this 100 rupees are paid a GST, means 18 rupees are paid on this 100 rupees. So this receipt will be forwarded to the next person, and when this person will pay a tax on 150 rupees, means he will pay 27 rupees, then for once it will pay 27 rupees, but this receipt will be there with this person and it will show it to the tax authorities, and they will refund this 18 rupees amount to that person. This is the case of input tax credit. And here, without any existing entities or supplies, these people applied for these refunds. So no product was sold and nothing was sold or done something, and these fraud receipts were shown, and they were claiming refunds of around 450 crore rupees fraudulently, and 470 crore rupees for ITC and 450 crore rupees for IGST refund. So there was no transaction, there was no selling, and these receipts were shown and these refunds were claimed there. So this kind of problem was there. So since July 2017, when GST was implemented, around 45,682 crore rupees, it's a staggering amount, have been detected, and it was a fraud amount. So government lost here 45,000 crore rupees. So to solve this problem, now they propose that Aadhaar must be authenticated, and at the time of these registration of these businesses, there must be this verification, and the Aadhaar must be linked with GST registration. So that's a commendable step, and that was a needed step, and this is the issue that they're talking about. Now they say that from January 2020 we will start this process. This composite scheme will be there, means whether they will have to authenticate their Aadhaar with the businesses, or they will have to submit to the physical verification of their businesses. So this is the option. So this is how Aadhaar will be a smoother option, and the link of Aadhaar system will be properly implemented, and this is how they can chase these fraud people. And the GSTN, the network, the GST network, the information technology backbone of this whole system, that will find it very, very easy to chase these frauds and maintain this whole business in a smooth way, in an honest way. Okay, so this is all in this article, and important for GS paper 2 and 3. A small information. Next article is the most important article of the day. Navroz K. Dubas is talking about the issue of climate change and how the approach of the countries that has become too problematic. The issue of nationalistic fervors and conservatism, and how they are ignoring others' concerns and talking about their own interests. And in this approach, they are ignoring the climate, they are ignoring the ecological balance, and they are continuing with the exploitation of the nature. And in the name of business competitiveness, they are harming the nature more than ever before. That has become the problem, and the problem of this nationalistic conservatism, that has become the biggest hindrance there. How? Some examples, like Trump reversed some proposals or maybe some actions in the electricity sector. What he did, he actually stops all those steps which were controlling the emissions in the electricity sector. Trump said that these things are making our businesses incompetitive. So in this struggling phase, world economy is struggling a lot, and the growth is not there. In these times, we cannot lose the situation, and we will keep our businesses competitive, so we cannot apply all these measures. So it's a very, very problematic thing. In a similar way, the Bolsonaro, the Brazilian president, what he said, he said about these Amazon fires that this is our national issue, this is our sovereign issue, and nobody can interfere here, and we will not take any help there, because he was involved in some argument with the Mr. Emmanuel Macron, the French president there, and he said that they have insulted us and we will never accept this thing, and we will solve this issue on our own. And the Amazon fires are going on, and consistently lakhs of hectares of forests, they are burned down. But it's an ego war, and they say that it's a nationalistic issue. So we cannot understand this, and this is nowhere justifiable that how it becomes a nationalistic issue. They are not putting a boundary on the oxygen produced by these jungles, so it is for the whole world. Amazon forests are not for Brazil, it is for whole world. But because they are located in their territories and these are sovereign nations, so they are calling it a national issue. So that's really concerning and unfortunate. So these are examples that our approach is really problematic. In a similar way, if you talk about India, then a few months back the coastal zone regulation rules and all these were out, and they allowed all these hoteliers and all these realtors and all to build all these areas, to exploit these coastal areas, which were the most sensitive areas. And earlier with the legislations we kept them secured, and further more stringent regulations were required, but instead of that we withdrew from that position and we allowed all these exploiters there. So practically we are going against the nature, and here internationally we are claiming a lot, and we are claiming that we are claiming in such a way that we are the best country to protect the nature. We are taking all the steps, and this is in our culture, this is in our tradition, that the nature is holy for us, and it is the part of our everyday lifestyle, and something that we claim practically it is not happening. You see the conditions of rivers and these jungles and the protected areas in this country. These are the worst areas in the world. Nowhere in other countries you will find this much polluted rivers and this much filth in these rivers and lakes and all, but still we claim so high. So that's the problem. Some good steps we have taken for sure. After 2015 we have committed a lot, we have pledged a lot, and in the solar energy area, in the wind energy area, we have made a very good progress, and Swachh Bharat Abhiyan was going on, but controversies are also there regarding these things. Like in Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, they are not revealing how they used all those funds which were created out of the Swachh Bharat cess, and regarding these solar energy targets and wind energy targets, a lot of controversies are there that we are not going to achieve the target, and we are moving with a very low pace. Claims are different, but the real progress is different. And regarding the forest report also, we have many controversies that these reports are not 100% a truth. So in every country there are controversies, there are hypocrisies, there are paradoxical situations. So it's a collective responsibility, but nobody is ready to take steps towards this collective responsibility. All are talking about their own interests, about their own spheres, and that is how we are destroying the nature with our own hands, and we are not concerned about the next generations. We can take any example, like in the people who are living in Delhi. If in the month of October and then starting of November, there will be 2-3 days where the city will be choked of the pollution, because the stubble burning is going on all around this city, and then that pollution choked the whole city, and for 2-3 days many people struggle a lot. Means struggling is there for all the people, but many people, even they die. The asthmatic patients, the heart patients, even they die because of that the choked atmosphere there. So this can be the condition forever in the future, but we are not concerned about that. And the weather events, means unrealistic weather events we are observing here, and these cyclonic conditions and these incessant rains and drought in those areas where used to be a lot of rain, and flooding in the desert regions and all. So these kind of unrealistic events are happening in France and Germany. Heat waves are going on, and hundreds of people were killed in European countries. This is really shocking. In those developed countries, many people were killed because of the heat stroke and the heat waves, because they do not have any experience. They do not know how to deal with these heat waves and all. In India, people are living with these conditions for thousands of years, but those people do not know, because these things are new for them. So these are clear evidences when temperatures are around 44-45 degrees in European countries like Germany, France. These are very cold countries, but they are experiencing heat waves. That's really unprecedented and shocking. But still, countries, they are not heeding to these situations, and that's the ultimate foolishness that whole world is showing there, and especially these leaders and leaders like Trump, who are denying the climate change, and they are calling it a hoax, and they are really believing these things in this way, and they are taking steps against the climate management, against the sustainable processes, against the pledges that all countries are making, and they are not even concerned about that. In many areas we have observed that, although all countries claim to work in a cooperative way, but practically they are taking different steps there. So that's why there is a political disconnect, total disconnect is there. So Secretary General in UN, he's pinning hopes on two-track approaches. First track is diplomatic pressure. As I told you, they need to work in collaborative way, because it is not the task of any specific country, whether it is a developed country, whether it is a undeveloped country, or whether it is a developing country. It is the task for all the countries collectively. Otherwise, there will be no impact. Many reports, they have said that we need war-like steps. Means the steps must be very, very intensive, and all countries must take all these way in their legislative framework, in their business processes, and all the investments must be done as soon as possible. Otherwise, if we are taking steps in a very casual way, and these are not much intensive steps, then there will be no impact. It is just like when we are trying to penetrate a nail in some wood, then we have to hit it very, very hard, because with a casual force we are not able to insert it into the wood. So we have to hit it very, very hard. In a similar way, all researchers are saying that intensive steps are needed today, because casual steps will do nothing in this aspect. So diplomatic pressure is the ultimate need there. All countries have committed in this Paris Agreement issue in 2015, this COP21. But after that, a lot of lethargy they are observing there. Some countries, they have announced some good steps, like UK. It has announced that we will become a carbon neutral country by 2050. Means it is not like that they will stop their emissions. There will be emissions, but whatever emissions will be there, they will be balanced out with the absorbing of it. Means new forests will be there, so they will absorb the excess carbon. So this is the way of becoming carbon neutral. But some countries like US, Brazil, Australia, Canada, Japan, they are not even attending these high level summits, and they are never concerned about these issues. And many times we have seen this thing. So those are willing to act are known, and those unwilling are unmoved. So these countries like Brazil, US, Canada, they are unmoved, and some countries, they are visibly active, like India is active, like in many steps. We have shown this thing, like in the adoption of e-vehicles, the issues that we talked in our budget, and the solar energy for 3-4 years. So we have made tremendous progress there. In the wind energy, we have made progress there. So these are active steps. Next approach, the second approach that the Secretary General was talking about, is the action portfolios. We need energy transitions. Means we need to move towards low carbon energy. We all know about that, but intensive steps we need to take. Intensive investments we need to take there. We need to put there. We have to turn energy intensive sectors like steel and cement and electricity towards some more carbon friendly approaches. Otherwise, this thing is not possible. And more dependence on the renewable energy is the key here. That's for sure. Coalition of businesses and researchers is the ultimate need. You see, till now the researchers only tell us about the problems that we are creating, but we need solutions there. So for that we need a lot of researchers, because today limited researchers are there, and they are not supported financially too much. So we need to support these researchers, so that there will be more eco-friendly approaches that we will find, and these businesses will become sustainable and more eco-friendly. And this is how our effort will become intensive. Otherwise, without this coalition of businesses and the researchers, nothing is possible. That's for sure. And for India, it would behove India not to be a status quo player in this context, because as I told you, India is that kind of a country. If we ignore this aspect, we will be the most devastated country on this earth, because crores of people are dependent on our rivers, lakes, ecosystem aspects, atmosphere, jungles and all, and we are not caring about this issue. And if we will not care, then within 10 to 15 years there will be a condition that lakhs of people, they will dying because there is no support available, because these rivers are going dry. The Himalayan glaciers, according to a shocking report, that till 2035 the glaciers, they will melt totally. That means there will be no Ganga, Yamuna rivers in the future. So how we are going to survive there? That's really shocking. And according to this condition, the poor people, they will die for sure. Means we cannot leave them on their destiny, because if we will leave them on their destiny, then what is the role of the governments and the systems there? We have to manage all of them. So for that, we need to do a lot of efforts there, and additional efforts we need to make, because it is our issue. But recently, the steps that we are observing, these are really unfortunate. Even the Supreme Court is giving those kind of decisions there, which are unprecedented. Supreme Court never behaved in this way, but in the issue of the July verdict of forest dwellers issue, where in a very stern voice, Supreme Court said that evict these places, and their claims are not justified, and they will have to vacate all these spaces, because they have enclosed these forest land and conserved lands. And this is really shocking, because many experts were saying that forest dwellers have been living there for thousands of years, and they are living in the most eco-friendly ways, and they are never harmful for this nature, and they are actually the highest level of conservatists. So we should not do, or we should not decide in this way. But Supreme Court in a stern voice said against those people, and that's really, really unfortunate. And many experts are saying this is all a kind of a nexus, because now they will allow many exploiters there, many miners there, and many business processes which will be extremely exploitative of the nature there and in jungle areas. And these are there are many evidences that these things are 100% possible. Like in the coastal regulation zone notification, we have seen that they are allowing all the realtors and all these people who are going to exploit in those most sensitive areas. So these are clear things. And one more huge evidence is there that in last 4-5 years, the speed of the clearances that they are getting from environmental bodies, that is unprecedented. And almost all the applications were cleared and all the clearances were given. Means earlier hindrances were there because those were really dangerous for the nature, for the ecosystem there in Western Ghats and in many other areas, in coastal areas and all. But the clearances are given with a very fast pace now, and it looks like they do not even care that there are forests, there are ecologically sensitive areas, there are protected areas, nothing. So this is how India is really vulnerable to these situations, and internationally we are claiming a lot. But as I told you, the worst condition you will see about forests, about rivers, about lakes, about water bodies in this country. Most polluted areas you will see there. Nowhere you will see rivers of this kind. Means the rivers like Yamuna and Musi river and these Mahim rivers and all. You will never see this kind of situations in any other country. So that's why we are the most vulnerable country among all, and we need to take these steps very seriously, and we cannot stay quiet here. We have to argue there. We have to argue very intensively for this global collective action, and at all the international platforms we need to talk these facts, and we need to ask for these justifications and the support there, because without these intensive steps and going with a casual way, a normal way, nobody is going to support and nobody is going to care about this issue, and we will be doomed for sure. So that's the situation in this article, and many points you can derive from here. It's a very relevant topic and important for GS paper 2 and 3 both, and a very important issue for essay also. Okay, like the topics you are observing for the last 2-3 days. Okay, next article. It's a important article, but it's a issue that's a emotional issue, and many scars are there on Indian minds, the people of Punjab there, because in Amritsar the Jallianwala Bagh massacre, that is unforgettable, and always when we think about this issue, we feel, when we imagine that situation, then chills run through our minds, and our hearts fill with shriek, because a closed area, only one entrance and exit is there, and there hundreds of these policemen, they arrive, and General Dyer gives this order, and more than 2000 gunshots are there, many rounds are there, and they kill thousands of people, and in the official records they do not mention all of them, and people are nowhere to go. There was just a well there, means that is called Shahidi Kuan today, and to save their lives they jumped into that well, and due to that jumping a lot of people died. So you cannot imagine the kind of a horrific incident, and till today Britain has not officially apologized for that. Recently Mr. Justin Webley, who is the Archbishop there as head of the Anglican Church of the world, and who is having a worldwide status appointed by the Queen, and his post is granted by the Queen. He crowns the British monarch and holds a significant position in the hierarchy of the British state. That important person came to India, and in a dramatic way he lied down on the floor, and he said that I am personally very sorry, and he said that officially this is not the stand of Britain till now, but personally I feel very sorry for this drastic event, and that can be a good step. But you see, the problem is that till date, even the Queen did not apologize, Prince Philip did not apologize, former British Prime Minister David Cameron on a visit to India in 2013, he did not apologize. The British High Commissioner till date, they have not apologized. So the list goes on, and each time a British dignitary comes to Amritsar, it feels like scratching a scab on the wound. That is why it's a kind of a very emotional issue, and always it will remain a problem emotionally between India and the Britain, and it's a perpetual wound that is there. So there are monuments which remind us always that how these colonizers they justified their horrific crime, and in the name of ruling others, they did this inhumane thing, and they killed many innocent people, and in a way, in a agony, in that frustration, in that fear, they killed them. That was really problematic. So this article is just about this issue, that officially it has not been apologized, but Mr. Archbishop, he apologized for that and felt personally very sorry for that. So that's the issue. Okay, the bigger problem with that issue, what was that? Means when he ordered that and he killed many people, and he was not apologetic of that incident. He never said that I was in some kind of fit or anger and I killed all these people. He said that it was my job to kill those people, and there was no provision of the relief to the wounded. Even that he justified. He said that to give relief was not my job, and he was of that opinion that that was justified in those times. And in Britain, the real problem was that he was celebrated as a hero in some circles, and a dire fund was created to save that person. So nothing can be more inhumane than that. Means anybody in anger, having an authority, may kill many people, and in history many people have killed. But after killing this many people, you say that I am a hero, and it is my job, and I will do to crush anything which is coming in my way, and it is all justified to kill all these people, all these innocent people. So nothing can be more monstrous than that. So this was the issue, and even after that issue, the problem continued, and he imposed martial law from April 15 there, and many atrocities, they were continued. So that's why it was a colonial mindset, exploited us, killed us, and it frustrates us to the core till date. So that is why it is totally justified, and there is no problem for Britain to apologize there. Recently, even Germany apologized to Poland authorities, and after 80 years, they issued this official apology. But Britain, even after 100 years, did not do that thing. So this is all about these articles, and the facts we will take in the evening lesson. Okay. And regarding this LNG deal, I have asked you an important question in the evening session day before yesterday, so please go through that, and we will take many more questions in today evening. So thanks a lot, keep watching. It was Amit signing.